Alan, book 3.
Ready?
Thank you.
Melissa Langbasher for the record, Chair and Policy Committee members. The department opened a professional standards case for Alan Lynn based on his retirement from the Albany Police Department. His retirement came during an investigation into allegations of dishonesty and neglect of duty related to submission of a supplemental police report that was requested by a community member. The Albany Police Department sought assistance from the Philomath Police Department to conduct an investigation. The investigator concluded that it was clear that Lynn did not write his supplemental report when he stated that he did. The investigator found 8 separate times where record staff at the police department communicated with Lynn or other management staff about Lynn's supplemental report. The Albany Police Department administratively closed the investigation after Lynn retired without sustained findings. The department reviewed the information and found that Lynn's intentional conduct was meant to deceive others into believing that he completed a report when he did not, and that he violated the standard for misconduct by failing to submit a supplemental report for several months, which created an inefficient operation of the Albany Police Department and damaged the agency's reputation in the community. The department is seeking a vote to affirm, modify, or negate it.
Thank you. We're looking for discussion or consensus to adopt the record and return it to case management for more information. If we have a consensus, we'll adopt the record. Next, we'll move to discussion of aggravating and mitigating factors. We'll open the discussion. Remember to state your name and identify if it's an aggravating or mitigating factor.
She'll looking for the record, it's actually not aggravating or mitigating, but I forgot the thing that said, I actually do know Alan Lynn and it professionally and worked with him multiple times, although it's been over 10 years. I still think I can remain objective in this process.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to go, Sue? Livingston, for the record, mitigating factor would be, his letter and, taking ownership of the conduct and the fact that he was, diagnosed, he has a clear diagnosis of a medical issue that the doctor clearly said could have, caused, some memory issues and confusion and things of that nature. And so that's his letter was compelling to me.
For the record, I can find nothing in the record that indicates how he would have benefited by not completing the report. And again, I think it was a forgetfulness or medical issue based on that. So that's mitigating, in my opinion. There is one aggravating thing though. Once he did finally figure out that he failed to turn it in, that it wasn't on his iPad, he lied and did say that it was on his iPad. He forgot to report it, or I'm sorry, to transfer it.
It's coming down to the record. There is a part that's a little bit ambiguous. In his mitigation, he does admit that he did that, even though the IT person identified that the amount of time he spent on it was either probably voice to text or done on a different document, which is something that's frequently done because word processing on Word or other platforms is usually a more robust word processing. And so oftentimes officers will write the report on a different document, cut and paste it into the actual report writing system. So before I read his mitigation that says I didn't do it, I was leaning toward he'd probably written it in a different platform because it just, even as the IT person said, averaging 60 words a minute, which seems very fast to me, would have taken him over twice as long as it would have as he spent on it because they time how long. So that was, to me, I was at least enough concerned of, hey, did he actually write it somewhere and just hadn't put it into the actual report writing system?
So with the record, he actually, in his mitigation letter, he does say that he was intentionally dishonest, that he stated the felony report was.
Right, that's what I said before, this would be before, and so,
Before that, I see.
right. But then we have this issue of his medical issue, that was going on, so like I said, and I just don't understand, I still don't understand how or why the report didn't get turned in, and then when it did get turned in, how did he turn it in so quickly? How was he able to complete it so quickly if he hadn't written it somewhere already? I don't know if it's aggravating or mitigating.
It's just about time.
Sorry. I just don't know.
Michelle Duffy, for the record, I think what I understood from it is that he stated he then did go back and write it prior to then transferring it and, but he did it like the night before, that it was actually turned in. So, I mean, I don't think it was that he just wrote it that day and it was to happen that quickly. I still think there was a transfer of the document. It just happened the night before instead of a month before, like he explained.
Are you ready or mitigating factors? I would say mitigating is, I mean, so you have a long police career and then you have, and we're here talking about he did one report, and he did do one report, and there just doesn't seem to be a history of this at all. And it's just, there's just no other records of this. It just seems so out of character for him. And then 5 days after his retirement, he's diagnosed with a very serious medical condition that, according to the doctor, could certainly affect your cognitive abilities and your memory. So I do believe that is mitigating.
With the record, another mitigating piece would be the person that was making the public records request wasn't harmed in any way other than delay. A continued delay, but there was no harm otherwise.
Anything else?
I would just second that. I think the medical record in this case is very mitigating. And the other piece that I appreciated and what put towards mitigating is that he, when he says he didn't complete the report, he truly believed that. And then when he does then subsequently admit to being dishonest and owns that, and that to me is mitigating that he does own conduct when called on it and would show proof that does.
Anyone else? Let's say you want to recap.
For mitigating, I have, that his medical diagnosis could have caused memory issues and that the letter that he submitted was compelling. There was no benefit to him not completing and submitting a report. There was uncertainty in the record. The information. He did not have a history of not submitting reports or dishonesty. The person involved in the incident who was requesting a report was not harmed besides a delay in obtaining a report. The medical record was mitigating, and Lynn believed that he did submit it and owned that he was wrong about that. For aggravating, I have that once he did figure out that he didn't submit the report, he was dishonest. And that the night before he went back and wrote and submitted the report, or just submitted the report, and it was not a month beforehand, Mr. Chair.
We have a consensus that she's covered aggravating and mitigating. Thank you. A little bit of discussion now whether there was a moral fitness violation. Following options are available: affirm, modify, or negate. One or all. In this, the staff has identified dishonesty and misconduct. Need a motion.
Make a motion that we affirm the two moral fitness violations.
Connie, sorry.
All right, we are voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair Downing?
Aye.
Vice Chair Connie?
Aye.
Committee Member Barrett?
Aye.
Committee Member Brandenburg?
Aye.
Committee Member Danny? Committee Members Dresser?
Aye.
Committee Member Duncan?
Aye.
Committee Member Livingston?
Aye.
Committee Member Lofgren?
Aye.
Committee Member Townsend? And Committee Member Wood. Motion passed.
You're looking for a motion to take action and take no action. No action is recommended. Please include your discussion line.
Livingston, for the record, I say we take no action. And it's based on his letter and mitigating factors related to his medical condition and that, and him taking ownership over, the conduct. And that I don't think that there was any ill will in that in the beginning. I just think that he got nervous when he realized he didn't turn it in when he thought he did and, so there was no real gain, just was got nervous. And I do think that the mitigating letter is super good.
Fair enough, a second.
Other discussion?
Right, we are voting on a motion to take no action. Chair Downing?
Aye.
Vice Chair Connie?
Aye.
Committee Member Barrett?
Aye.
Committee Member Brandenburg?
Aye.
Committee Member Daniel?
Aye.
Committee Member Dresser?
Aye.
Committee Member Duncan?
Aye.
Committee Member Livingston?
Aye.
Committee Member Lofgren?
Aye.
Committee Member Townsend? And Committee Member Wood.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, our next agenda item is nominations. This is a replacement for.
Yeah.
Alicia Barrett.
Yeah. Having to help us for the record, sadly to say. Also leaving, the ARC, and we do need to replace her. Those that are eligible from the police policy committee is Sheriff Brandenburg, Townsend, and Councilmember, Wood. If you need to be in your second term, so. Again, if you don't know, the ARC meets once a month. It is almost always in the virtual world because it's usually short, sweet, but very, very important to us. Because these are individuals who've been hired by their agency, but have reported some criminal background. And we need to determine whether or not they're going to be accepted into the academy and ultimately get certification. So sometimes we don't have the meetings, but we try and do it every month so that if they're pending getting accepted into the academy, we need to be timely. So it's a light lift compared to the 6 books you just had. Again, I want to be responsible for that. I know you have your day jobs, but yes, looking for a representative from this committee.
What is the makeup of the current committee?
Correct me if I'm wrong, you actually have the list one, so.
Yeah. So who's on the committee?
Yes, the makeup of representations.
So we have to have, I believe, 2 members from each policy. Well, or sorry, from each policy committee, 2 members, and then 1 public member from the BPSSD. And that's about it for now.
And of the current members? And Kevin Dresser is currently,
Yes.
the other police policy member.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, is it a police member you need or a public member like Mr. Wood?
That's.
He doesn't need your.
The only, just Janet Ballard is from, actually the board, and so, but it could be anybody here to include a public member.
I will say the reading has very rarely exceeded over 50 pages. It's pretty reasonable. Like can often be read that morning.
You seem excited.
So it's yours, looking at me, I'm not thinking for myself. You don't want, I will do it, but.
I would nominate, public member Rob Wood because I think.
I would
he does a great job and he's very. I really do, and all laughing aside, you do a great job.
Yes.
Here. I always
Yes.
appreciate your thoughtfulness and insight into these cases. You take it very seriously. And I do appreciate that. And if you're able to, I would love to know.
I am able, thank you for that.
She's back there.
Quickly seconded.
I'm not objecting.
All right.
We wanted to
All right, Eric, all yours.
We are voting on a motion to nominate Rob Wood to the applicant review committee. Chair Nelly.
Aye.
Vice Chair Bonnie.
Aye.
Committee Member Barrett.
Aye.
Committee Member Brandenburg.
Aye.
Committee Member Daniel.
Aye.
Committee Member Dresser.
Aye.
Committee Member Duncan.
Aye.
Committee Member Livingston.
Aye.
Committee Member Lofgren. Committee Member Townsend.
Aye.
Should I?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Congratulations, you're big.
Thank you.
Moving on to agency updates.
Thank you, Chair, Phil Castle, for the record. Appreciate the time to be able to, be here today. I normally like to, start off in a particular way. I want to change the order a little bit in the way I'm starting off. Today was particularly, monumentous, policy committee for a couple of different reasons. But, I want to start off with the staff. The staff worked incredibly hard and there was a lot of work that went into this. And the professionalism that is displayed here is just, I'm super proud of them and really appreciate all the work that you all did in preparing for this. So thank you very much. And certainly, notwithstanding, I appreciate all of you very much. This is an awesome responsibility that you have here to execute these duties, and appreciate particularly our public members being here and your opinions super matter. And so I thank you for your voices here. They're very, very important. And I know this is, Sheriff Duncan walked in with their envelopes still. I know you all have awesome responsibilities of your own back in your own work area. So I'm super grateful for that. And I'm super grateful for the leader of this professional standards organization, who we are going to remove her from this job because I need her to do other stuff. And she's trying to do it all right now, and she's doing a great job at all of that. And I wanted to introduce you to the person who will be removing her. She's right over there. Her name is Marie Atwood. And Marie is currently our legal coordinator. She is an attorney. She is a very experienced attorney. And she'll be bringing a whole lot of experience and knowledge to this committee. So we'll be happy that she's going to take on this role. So welcome, Marie.
Thank you.
Yes. I talked a little bit about Matt English, the chair of the board and also chair of CPC. And the other day I had to hand him yet another certificate dismissing him from his duties and thanking him for his commitment. I am going to hand another one to Member Barrett and just want to say how much I appreciate her. I've gotten the opportunity to know her. First of all, she's the picture of professionalism. Always demonstrates that, has always demonstrated that. She serves, in my opinion, serves her community, serves the state with dignity and honor at all times. If you don't know, she's on the honor guard and she's awesome at that. So I just so admire all the service that she's given and thank her for the service she's given to this policy committee.
Thank you, Director.
I do want to say a couple of words. I've been planning this speech for like 6 years. And I got emotional with the board just because of some nice things were said, and I do appreciate that. I'm gonna try not to do that because I want to get this out. The job that we do in this room is not easy. And I would not, like, the board, yeah, they have like the final stamp of approval, but the work happens here in this room. And the conversations that take place on both sides, for and against, I can feel one way and somebody else can feel another way, but we can have a very appropriate conversation about it and always get to the right decision, in my opinion. I I'm grateful that this exists. I didn't even know it existed until director called me and was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? I'm like, what am I getting myself into? But I now know that if we did not have this, it would open the door for somebody to come in here and do this work for us. And they're not the right people to do this. I love having public members. I pulled Patricia aside earlier. Your opinions matter. Yeah. Because we can't get because we can get jaded and we can get sucked into this. This is our world. This is what we see. This is how I would respond when that's not always the case and we need that outside opinion. So thank you both for being here. Your opinions are very, very impactful. But also having a space for the non-law enforcement or the non-management folks to feel comfortable to talk in here. We've got a lot of experience in brass politicians, and it can be an intimidating room. And at first it was very intimidating to me, but I think I found my feet, my voice, and that's because of you guys empowering everybody in the room to have an equal opportunity to say something. So thank you. No.
Thank you again, really. So appreciate you and gonna miss having you here, but I'm sure we'll see you around.
Yeah.
You always have one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. The updates I'll provide, like every state organization, we're deep in the throes of session right now. Budgets are now being heard. DPSST was one of the first public safety to be heard, and our budget was heard by public safety subcommittee Ways and Means on yesterday. It's been a week. And within that, and after the May 14th revenue forecast, the state was down $755 million. That had an impact on the outlook of the legislature. DPSST was kept at current service level, which is a very good thing. So all the students that we anticipate training over the next couple of years will be able to accommodate as far as what we see now. We are able to predict. So that was a very good thing. Not every agency is going to be in those circumstances. Some agencies are going to take pretty good cuts because of that. Unfortunately, as a result of that revenue forecast, we did lose POP 102, which was a staffing package, and we lost POP 103, which was a study to increase the footprint on this academy. So we did lose those. However, our POP 101, which is the learning management system, is still alive. It will be heard in about mid-June with our capital construction. It was lumped into a capital construction / bonding bill that will be heard in the middle of June. So there's a possibility that we could still get the learning management system that was part of the governor's recommended budget. We are going to full Ways and Means tomorrow at 9:30, something like that. 9:30 will be in full Ways and Means where our budget will be heard. Full Ways and Means. Our first go around through public safety subcommittee was 12 minutes. I wouldn't expect that we'll have a long session tomorrow either. That's where I am for agency updates. Pending your questions, I'm going to open the floor for any questions that anybody might have. You can ask me whatever you'd like.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was in Rebecca. How about the Academy for Children? How is that moving forward?
Yeah. Sam. So.
He's answering a lot of phone calls.
It's coming along. So Sam Tinney, who is our PIO, our public information officer, he is leading our youth academy, which will be happening on June 30th. That's during the down week that we have here, and we're bringing 100 children of high school age. I understand that we kind of do the high school age children. And we have a whole bunch of partners in this. Many agencies have asked to participate in this, and it's great. It's a big partnership. We're also having fire present and so forth. So this is our first foray into this. And I know you offered to help, so thank you so much for your assistance there, but we're very excited about our first youth academy here. With, you know, we don't want BPSST to be this big secret, and we want to do whatever we can to help, the profession of public safety grow and, you know, attract, our youth to it. So that's the aim. This is our pilot. It may get longer if we can be successful at it. And I want to give Captain Kyle Kennedy, some here. He came to me with his suggestion to do this, and then he left and it's not participating at all. I'm kidding. It's totally participating. I'm sure he's watching this, so I have to take a shot at him. He's been very helpful and very supportive in all of this, as OSB as a whole, so I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you. More updates?
Yeah, actually, it's gonna take a moment to echo the director. You guys all showed up today. And I appreciate it, because I was hoping that your thoughts, your words, you know, there's a lot of people tuning in. As Member Barrett said, you know, if we don't do our own jobs here, then somebody will do it for us. And was very, very pleased. I don't, proud might be condescending, so just, you guys showed up. You had the honest discussions on all accounts, but with an elevated one and media presence and stuff like that, I appreciate it very much. I too had already said words to Member Barrett, got a little emotional, but yeah, so I've put this time either, because I do believe she's the face of law enforcement in the future. And her exposure, what she's done, her thoughts that she shared, she shows up every single time prepared. And she found her voice, and I hope we just continue. Other people who follow in her footsteps will see that outside of rank, that you have a voice on what you want to shape our profession to be. And it's a testament to her and a legacy, hopefully, that we haven't identified for sure who's coming in next on the non-management, but we're working towards that. So again, just my appreciation. And I too, with a great team, am very excited that I get to hand the baton, as much as I don't want to. Marie will step in, and I only expect her to continue to take us to the next level. And I strongly encourage that, and will support her all the way. So again, just my sincere appreciation to all of you and the team that prepared us today, and just appreciate it. And that's all the updates we have.
Thank you. If no one else has anything, we will adjourn. I just want to remind everyone, the next police policy committee is on August 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. We are adjourned.